This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
How are you doing, Jason Glick?
I'm doing great, John. How
Great.
about you?
Oh, I'm surviving the torrent at work. So, yeah, everything seems to be all right, you know.
I guess it's better than not surviving.
Yeah,
But I'm
exactly.
bummed.
Yeah. So what's going on in the world of Jason Glick? At least with the
Okay.
comics.
Oh yeah, it's like just about the comics. All right, so, I've got something that I've mentioned before. People who've been reading the blog regularly. It's like, it's like those of you with very specific memories might remember the time I wrote in one of my Marvel previews picks about a collection of the Ultimate Comics event. Divided We Fall, United We Stand. Now this hardcover collected the event in the Ultimate Universe. Basically, that in theory was supposed to cross over between the Ultimates, Ultimate Comics X-Men, and Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. Now I looked at this and thought, that seems like a really nice collection right there. I mean, you get like 18 issues worth of content for $40. And it's kind of like almost you're buying two trade paperbacks, only you'll get one free. Sounds like a winner right there. But problem is that while it's collected, that the way Ultimate Spider-Man has worked its collection so far, you'd be missing out on two issues of it. So it's kind of like, oh man, it's like, do I want to get it now? It's like, or do I want to see about getting the two issues beforehand? No, that didn't quite work out for me. It's like I'm sure I'll pick things up either myself or through other means at some point in the future. But then I noticed later on that they were going to solicit Ultimate Comics X-Men by Brian Wood, Volume 1. That Volume 1 does not collect any of the issues from this event. I figured, okay, so I guess it's kind of been decided for me. Got to get this hardcover. It collects everything here, and that way I can be ready for when the soft covers for Wood's run arrive. Because God knows, I spent enough time talking about how much I'm looking forward to Brian Wood's Ultimate Comics X-Men run. So I've said ever since the beginning that, hey, yeah, it's too bad that Nick Spencer's I'm leaving after 12 issues, but hey, we're getting Brian Wood, so we're trading up here. Awesome, right? Well, it's like, yeah, I've been saying that for months now. So now it's like, time to. So now, what do I think about it? Well, I'm going to tackle these arcs in the order that they come. Because this collects three arcs in the series. This is not really a crossover. This is more of a branded event. Saying that, hey, it's like we realize that on the world that America is falling apart in the Ultimate Comics universe, so we're going to make basically this brand's event about it. Just talking about how everyone's going to go and put things back. All the heroes are going to go and put things back together or die trying, more or less. Anyway, it's like, so first arc is from the Ultimates, and it's basically new writer Sam Humphries take on having Ultimate Cap, Thor, and Iron Man, as well as Black Widow, Hawkeye, and everyone else can get their hands on. Just trying to bring the country back together. I mean, it starts off with Captain America coming back and just fighting the anti-government militias, showing, hey, he's realized that, hey, even though Cap lost his faith for a while, he's back, and now he's gonna take out all these guys who are fighting again, who don't want to be a part of it. He's gonna put the country back together by sheer force of will and violence through any means. Now, putting this country back together basically means going toe-to-toe with the nuclear-empowered Texas, a California that is seceded from the Union, proclaiming its technological superiority, and also the anti-government militia known as Hydra. Yeah, so we get so we also do get some more Ultimate Comics versions of regular Marvel Universe concepts here. Now, this does a good. Now, well, I said my review of the previous volume of the Ultimates, it did kind of fall apart towards in the middle half, because because that also represented the point where Humphreys came on as a co-writer to Jonathan Hickman. It also, more importantly, it also presented like the point where the art just became a lot less consistent and had like 5 artists working on one issue, which is never a good thing for consistency. So I realized that, that necessarily wasn't Humphreys' fault. So I tried to do my best to go in here through with an open mind. And to be honest, like I thought this first part of the arc worked pretty well. Humphreys does a good job of keeping the momentum going. Like showing you, hey, America's on the verge of falling apart, but now we've got the heroes have got their act together, and they're gonna push forward to try and make sure that doesn't happen. So he does get a lot of good momentum here, but he also sits upon like an idea that that the Marvel universe has teased with for years, but not actually gone and done it. This isn't necessarily a spoiler, really. This is like basically like, all I can say is President Captain America. Through his heroic efforts, Captain America emerges as a substantial write-in vote for the recall presidential election that's held in the middle of the series. And to be honest, though, Cap is kind of like a very very conservative, more like violence solves all problems kind of guy. It's like for the situation that they're facing in this comic book, that's actually the kind of captain I can get behind, because everyone is acting in their own. All the bad guys are acting in their own interest, and we need someone who can just go in and just knock some sense into them, literally even. So it's a lot of fun seeing that, but also Hickman also teases a separate subplot, basically about the person who's fomenting the all this rebellion. This mysterious Mr. Morez, who also has mysterious Asgardian ties to Thor as well. So it's this kind of, it's just it's handled well enough, but at the same time though, the resolution to this particular thread is kind of left wanting. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's handled a bit too definitively for my taste, because once you find out who Ez actually is, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I understand why Thor, Thor's issues with all this, but at the same time, Thor's solution is a bit more, it's really definitive. In the Ultimate Universe, since Thor's solution to all problems is to hit shit with his hammer until it dies. Well, it kind of worked. It was kind of like how the first volume of the Ultimates ended. It's also kind of how Millar's run on his second Ultimate Avengers ended, and now that's kind of how this arc ends as well. I kind of think it was a bit too definitive and bit too wrapped up, a bit too for my liking. But at the same time, I mean, it's like we've got it does kind of end, this arc does kind of end with the good distance finality. In fact, the Ultimates arc does kind of do a good job of wrapping up this whole branded event, for lack of a better term. So you're going into the second arc as more sideshows to these stories, but it's like it does lead me interesting. Where do we go from here? Because apparently I'm going to be focused on the rebuilding or reconstruction and reunification of the United States after this. So I'm kind of interested in this, but at the same time, it also kind of leaves me like a bittersweet feeling, in the sense that it's rumored that that there's going to be an Ultimate, an Avengers versus Ultimates event next year, which is going to basically put an end to the Ultimate Comics imprint, as far as the publishing concern anyway. Which at this point I can understand, okay, I mean, it's hard to be angry about something I've seen coming for a while, but it's like there are worse fates here. Anyway, but now it's like we're talking about, now we're going on to the next arc, which is the Ultimate Comics X-Men. And so let me say right out, did I enjoy Brian Wood's take on the characters in the series? Yes, I did. Is it something that's radical enough to make me go and say, start reading this right now, even if you've never read Ultimate Comics title 4? No, but it does have a lot of. But interesting enough, Wood has probably it does tap into a lot of the teenage angst and and rebellion by characterize a lot of his early works, such as the Couriers, Channel Zero. It's like series like that, and he is it's a lot, and he taps into that vibe, and it's appropriate right here, because I mean it's kind of like it's like the standard X-Men stuff ramped up to ridiculous levels, which I kind of like in a way, because like it's not just like, because the X-Men here aren't just hated and feared, they are just like like the regular human populace is just terrified of mutants, to the point where like they're putting them in, like they've like the government has abandoned the southwestern states to the Sentinel forces that have been. They're now under the mental command of William Stryker Jr. And it's like, and they've got, it's like, basically the anti-militias are just kind of like just like pouring in there and just like just doing their best to oppress all mutants there without any worries or repercussions. And things aren't much better in New York as well. So it's into this situation that Kitty Pryde realizes that, hey, we've got to do something. We've got to go and stay and like start and fight back in these areas. It's like in these sessions, in these success states. So we've got she gets her team, just basically Iceman, Rogue, and Jimmy Hudson. Now here you say Jimmy Hudson, you're saying, what's that? Well, Jimmy Hudson is the son of Wolverine, who was introduced in Jeff Loeb's Ultimate X run, which I didn't read because everything I've heard about Jeff Loeb's Marvel series, except for his Requiem for Captain America series, is that it's been terrible. So I just fuck that, and I understand that all you need to know about Jimmy Hudson to get his character is that he is the son of Wolverine. For lack of a better term, he is the Wolverine stand-in for this particular arc. He's angsty, he's violent, he's the one who will stab and kill people, who don't like him. So he's Wolverine enough for this arc. That's what I'm saying right here. And I kind of wish that I could say more about him aside from him being just Wolverine-like. But there's really not a whole lot to him at this point. Anyway, it's like the arc has some nice has some nice moments early on with the characters seizing debate about what to do, trying to pass checkpoints, and just feeling that hey, we are completely out of our depth here. We are against a country that hates and fears us even more than usual. And it's there's a sense and Wood gets a good sense of drama and character from these people. It's and like I said, there's also a sense of the whole, like I said, good sense. He evokes a good sense of rebellion, and also of the, I think what is your government doing for you vibe that we got from DMZ as well. And things change a bit halfway through when Kitty hooks up with Ultimate Nick Fury, and Fury is kind of here is more of a facilitator than anything else. He's basically kind of working this as an angle in the sense that hey, we've tried doing this kind of rebellion stuff from inside other countries and it hasn't worked. So when we're working it from here, we need to have a mutant doing all this stuff. So that basically falls to Kitty right here. So Kitty basically winds up kind of acting as the de facto head of the mutant resistance, and it's pretty and it's interesting seeing her trying to whip up the defeated mutant population in these states into a fighting force, and it would have been more effective had the ending not felt so rushed, because we've got the William Stryker Sentinels basically being wiped out in one big rush in the final issue, which kind of it reads like Wood was not really interested in handling all this. That he just I'm going to take care of this so I can get onto the stuff that I'm talking about, which is also seen in the final scenes of his arc, which has Kitty talking to President Captain America about the future of the mutant race, which because while Cap I can believe is he means well and all, but at the same time he's kind of the deal he's offering them is kind of things aren't going to be that much better for you guys, but this is the best I can do. This is the best you're going to get in these situations. Well, it does lead to some interesting potential future storylines, and like I said, this one was entertaining enough. I mean, I wanted I want to read more, but at the same time, like, I mean, part of me thinks that, for all the stuff that I was all the talk I was doing about Wood's run being that much better than ever come before, not quite there, but at the same time, it's like it was still entertaining and interesting enough that makes me want to. That does make me want to keep going. So there's that. Oh, and now we've got the problem child. We've got Ultimate Spider-Man. So first off, for if you're like me and you're thinking about picking up this, if you read all the Ultimate titles and you're thinking about, like, do I want to pick up this collection, even if I don't have those missing 2 issues of Ultimate Comic Spider-Man, I say yes, go ahead and do it, because Bendis still puts in enough story, flashbacks and recaps to tell you this is what happened in those that you missed. Granted, those 2 issues look like they contain some pretty important events, so yeah, I do want to read those issues, but at the same time, like, I know what went on, and and so I'm left feeling completely lost to what we saw here. So basically, this whole story, it's not really so much of a straight story as basically as is our protagonist, our new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, reacting to the events going on in the United States. So, but it kicks off with him dealing with the fallout from the 2 issues that weren't collected here, and then managing a meet up with May Parker, Gwen Stacy, and also Mary Jane as well, and also Ultimate Cap, because Cap tells him that, I realize I completely fucked up with Peter, but hey, I'm not going to make the same mistake with you. It's like you are 13, you are not old enough to be a hero, period. So I'm going to shut you down right now. Now, God knows that everyone realizes that that's kind of like one of the oldest tropes in superhero comics ever. But at the same time, though, it's like Bendis does actually show a pretty good understanding of, like, he realizes at least, and we also get some nice scenes with Miles managing the Peter Parker's web shooters that he gets from at May. It's like he realizes that, hey, you're not going to master these initially, and they lead to some, like, interesting situations that I'm sure we'd all face if we tried using these web shooters without any practice. But at the same time, though, Miles does actually manage to prove himself in a throwdown with the Rhino, and it does lead to Cap saying, okay, you can actually be Spider-Man, which is not. I mean, it's nice seeing the hero realize that, okay, maybe I made a bad call right here. It's like, you actually do have what it takes. And he even realizes it further when Hydra attacks the Triskelion, and Spider-Man shows up to take things on to help out things there as well. It's like I wanted to show you that, hey, that Morales is a much more capable superhero than we learned to expect for someone so young, and also. It's like, but it also leads to some interesting parts where he realizes that, hey, part of it, he's also kind of even he realizes that, hey, even though this is what I wanted, I'm really out of my depth here. Especially when he's left walking across a cornfield in the Midwest, saying, oh man, I just want to go home. I don't even know what I'm doing out here. It's like, and so that was, so like that. Bits like that are fun. Bendis' dialogue is always great, and also he also leads some great scenes with Morales' parents as well. Especially his dad, who winds up in a very bad situation with Hydra. He lives to talk about it, but at the same time, you get the feeling that he may not have wanted things to work out that well at all. So it's like even though it's like it's a storyline that it doesn't so much advance. Like Morales' particular story arc, it's still an interesting storyline showing him how he's just to the pressures of being a hero and being in situations completely out of his depth, kind of like his predecessor was as well. One issue though is that one of the gentleman he faces off with in the last 2 issues, it's kind of like a hey, isn't this? It looks like. It's Cassie from the Ultimates arc, and it almost completely contradicts what's going on there, unless you're really willing to be very generous with continuity. In fact, the overall, even like I said, this is more of a branded event than a crossover. Even though there are some, couple touchstones between these particular arcs, you don't actually need to read all three of them in order to get the full, in order to enjoy things. I mean, they actually don't cross over too much. I mean, Nick Fury shows up a bit in the Ultimates and in Ultimate Comics X-Men, but they're not. But it's not really like a full on this is like just trading off parts between issues and all. So there, yeah. So there you go. Oh, and the art for Ultimates is not bad. I mean, I like having Billy Tan on the first couple issues, even though it's like Timothy Green's fill-ins in his parts were kind of like were jarringly disconcerting. And Luke Ross does some nice house style stuff in the latter half, which it's, to be honest, like, I mean, it's a real step down from the Brian Hitch days, and even the teams they got on the Millar's Ultimate Avengers arc. Hey, actually, to be honest, like I actually liked Asad Rabik's stuff more than what we got here. But still, it's like it tells a story. It's clear and understandable, and I can't really say Asternak much more than that. Ultimate Comics X-Men, despite having how many artists do they have on there? So having 4 different artists, it still managed to maintain a pretty nice degree of artistic consistency, which I appreciated. It's got this this slightly cartoony, like slightly exaggerated style between Paco Medina, Riley Brown, Carlo Barberi, and Augustin Padilla, and it's like if you're gonna have like 4 different artists on an arc, then you can do well to follow the consistency and style that these 4 guys manage. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, however, I still long for the days when we had one artist for each volume, like Mark Bagley and Stuart Immonen. This time we got 2 artists splitting the duties. We got David Marquez and Pepe Larraz. Marquez is pretty good. He's not quite in the level of some of the other. Oh, actually, no. It's like he's not quite on the level of some of the, but he's got a great clean style that's very aggressive and detailed as well. I like seeing this. I like his work here, and I'm sure I like seeing his work when he does his fill-in issues for all new X-Men as well. The Roz, hey, not bad either. It's like as far as fill-ins go, it's like he does things pretty well. I mean, things certainly could have been a lot worse, but he does a good job in maintaining consistency and doing some nice action scenes. So, ultimately, though, it's like as far as this volume goes overall, it's like I said, if you're not reading Ultimate Comics, any of the Ultimate Comics stuff, this is not going to be the thing that will convince you to do it. In fact, if you're reading any Ultimate Comics stuff, all you need to do is you just need to read Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. It's the one Spider-Man title that just maintained a fantastic degree of consistency over the years, and it's like and like can still be said, and you can still say that of the titles today. If you've been keeping up with the Ultimate Comics titles, then yeah, it's like this is an absolute must read, and it's still pretty entertaining as well. It's like I can think of I enjoyed it pretty well, but at the same time, it doesn't convince me that that if the Ultimate Comics imprint is going to end sometime next year with a crossover, that it doesn't convince me that it needs to be saved as well. I mean, I'm sure we do just fine having Miles Morales interacting with Peter Parker in the regular 616 Marvel Universe. Hey, we've already had one crossover with them, so hey, having them interacting on a regular basis should be fine as well. John, so, any thoughts? Are you still writhing in pain for your medical conditions right now?
Writhing in pain. No comment from me tonight, unfortunately.
I'll just leave you to it then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Going to call it a night, and next week, or not next week, next time I'll be back with the well, I'll just say next time's gonna be like talking about the ones that got away, the ones that I meant to write about, but just didn't get around for one reason or another.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters.